Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving headfirst into the deeply mystical, intensely layered world of Sak Yant. If you're the kind of person who loves unpacking really rich ancient traditions, you are in the exact right place. We're going to explore a practice that goes so far beyond just simple body art. This is a living, breathing tradition where spirituality, magic, and some incredibly strict behavioral codes are literally etched right into the skin. Now I want you to really think about this for a second. Would you get a tattoo if it dictated what you could eat, where you could sit, and how you had to behave for the rest of your life? Because we aren't just talking about picking a cool design off a flash wall here. We're unpacking a sacred tradition where the ink comes with lifelong, highly specific rules. And the catch? If you break those rules, the magic of the tattoo just dies. Section 1, Origins of Sak Yant. Okay, let's dive into this and travel back in time to uncover the fascinating roots of the practice. So is Sak Yant Thai or Cambodian? You know, this is a question that pops up a lot, and it can actually spark some pretty passionate cultural debate. But the truest, most neutral answer we can find in the historical record is that the practice predates our modern borders entirely. It was born way, way before the modern nations of Thailand or Cambodia were ever drawn on a map. To put it into perspective, between the 9th and 15th centuries, warriors of the massive Khmer Empire sought out these geometric tattoos for spiritual protection in battle. Fast forward to the 1600s, and Thailand's Ayutthaya kingdom was bestowing Yant tattoos and even Yant shirts as talismans. Today, of course, it's a globally recognized spiritual tradition. Now here's a really crucial distinction about who actually applies this ink today. You can receive a Sak Yant from either a monk or an Ajarn. So what's the difference? Well, monks operate within Buddhist temples, maintaining strict monastic vows and offering blessings that are tied deeply to their temple's centuries-old lineage. Ajarns, on the other hand, are highly respected Sak Yant masters, often former monks themselves who have left the monkhood. They operate out of independent studios called sumnaks, which allows them to focus entirely on mastering the complex magic and artistry of the Yant. Today, while Cambodia's practice is recovering from the tragic interruptions of the Khmer Rouge era, Thailand has maintained this incredible, unbroken lineage of both monks and Ajarns, passing wisdom down from master to student. Section 2. Decoding the secret designs. So, what exactly is getting etched into the skin? Let's take a look. It is so fascinating to contrast the two most foundational Sak Yant designs. First up is the Gao Yord, or the 9 spires. Practitioners call this the Master Yant. Think of it as pouring the concrete foundation before you build a house. It acts as a comprehensive spiritual shield, anchoring on the center of the upper back. Most series collectors will absolutely get this one first. Then we have the Taew, or the 5 lines. This design functions less like a massive shield and a bit more like a charm for very specific blessings, things like luck, charm, and reversing bad horoscopes. This is actually the specific design that exploded in global popularity back in 2003, when Angelina Jolie famously got it tattooed on her shoulder blade by an Ajarn. You might be wondering about those 9 spires in the Gao Yord. Well, the number 9 is absolutely massive in Thai Buddhism and culture. It represents progress and prosperity. In the context of the Master Yant, it stands for 2 giant concepts. First, it represents the 9 peaks of Mount Meru, which is the cosmic mountain serving as the spiritual center of the universe in Buddhist cosmology. And second, it symbolizes the 9 specific virtues of the Buddha, ranging from wisdom all the way to supreme guidance. Check out the top of those spires. See that swirling, zigzagging shape? That's called the Unalome, and it brilliantly illustrates the spiritual journey to enlightenment. Because just like real life, the path isn't a straight line, right? It's full of twists, detours, and setbacks. But the Unalome shows us that those setbacks are just stepping stones. Eventually, the line straightens out at the very top, signifying the pure clarity of enlightenment. It is just an incredible visual metaphor to carry on your skin. Section 3. The ancient Khom script. Let's decode the mysterious script that gives the Sak Yant its literal voice. This surrounding lettering is known as the Khom script. It's an ancient writing system that traces its roots all the way back to Brahmin in ancient India. And here's the absolute kicker. Even if you speak modern Thai fluently, you cannot just read a Sak Yant like a book. These aren't conversational sentences. They are literal secret codes, magical mantras, and prayers that have been carefully handed down from a master Ajarn to his apprentice over centuries. The script itself is believed to be a direct bearer of spiritual energy. To really see this in action, let's break down how the Khom script works in the famous Taew, that 5 lines design. The Ajarn uses this script here to encode 5 highly distinct magical purposes. Line 1 cleanses unwanted spirits. Line 2 reverses bad astrology. Line 3 actually blocks black magic. Line 4 energizes your future success. And line 5 cranks up your personal charisma and attractiveness. Every single letter is deliberately placed to invoke those exact energies. Section 4. The Rules of the Ink. Because getting the tattoo is only step 1. Now we're talking about Khom. The foundational rule here is beautifully simple. Do not commit evil deeds. Basically, wearing a Sak Yant means you're committing to broad morality. You're expected to keep the 5 basic Buddhist precepts, respect your parents and your master, and treat fellow devotees of the same master like your own family, meaning no fighting or competing with them. You're carrying a sacred blessing around, so you've got to behave honorably. But alongside that broad morality are some hyper-specific ancient superstitions, and these actually vary depending on which master tattoos you. Some lineages forbid you from ever eating starfruit, pumpkin, or food from a funeral banquet. Others say you can never duck under a specific type of banana tree or cross a single head bridge. One rule literally dictates that you must never sit on a cracked ceramic urn. I mean, just imagine walking through your daily life having to constantly dodge banana trees, avoid gourds at dinner, or nervously checking a ceramic pot for cracks before you sit down. It requires absolute, lifelong mindfulness. Section 5. Ancient Art, Modern Hygiene. How does a tradition built on shared communal needles survive in our modern era? For literally centuries, the traditional tool of choice was the maisak, a long metal rod or a piece of split bamboo. In the past, especially during those massive temple ceremonies where hundreds of people gathered, this single tool would be repeatedly dipped into a shared communal ink pot and used on person after person with barely a wipe in between. And look, this wasn't recklessness at the time. They simply didn't know about viruses like hepatitis or HIV. But once modern medicine caught up, this practice obviously became a massive public health risk. Fortunately, responsible modern monks and Ajarns have brilliantly adapted to this reality. The new standard perfectly integrates medical safety without losing the sacred rhythm of the ritual. Today, a reputable master will open a sterile, single-use needle right in front of you. They'll pour ink into a disposable, individual pot, they clean the skin, and many now wear medical gloves. So what actually touches the skin has modernized, but the deep spiritual weight, the chanting, and that mesmerizing rhythmic hand tapping, that remains perfectly intact. So what's the big takeaway here? The Sak Yant is definitely not some fossilized relic. It is a living, breathing tradition that's adapted to the 21st century while somehow keeping its ancient soul. But it asks for physical endurance, moral fortitude, and a lifelong commitment to its rules. So, knowing the deep history, the lifelong rules, and the meaning behind the conscript, would you be willing to endure the hand-tapped needle to receive the Master Yan's blessing? Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer. I really hope this sparked your curiosity, and I'll catch you in the next one.